with travels by land, sea, and air, 2023 had it all, and now it's time for our annual recap. Hello, Jet Setters. I'm Jeb Brooks from GreenerGrass.com.
And I'm Suzanne.
And we are here to celebrate the end of the year and the start to a new one. So the very first thing we need to say is Happy New Year, Jet Setters. We are so excited about everything we accomplished with you in 2023, and we're going to share what's to come in 2024.
But first, it's time to reflect on what an amazing year it's been. So let's revisit some of the videos we've made, some of the experiences we've had. The first thing we're gonna do is kind of a quick fire either or for Jeb. Which one was the more luxe experience? The Gulfstream G450 or Singapore Suites?
The Gulfstream G450. I mean, come on, that was incredible.
Which one was scarier? Driving a train or landing in Saba?
Driving a train. I was responsible.
But it's like on rails, so you couldn't really stray.
She's never driven a train. She doesn't know.
I was scared landing in Saba, just for the record. Okay, if you had to do one again, CRJs across the country or American Airlines hub hopping?
CRJs across the country, yeah. Hub hopping, I can only handle one hub hop a year. I'm still recovering from that.
All right, which flight in Delta One did you enjoy more? Delta One to Sydney or Delta One to Johannesburg?
Sydney, because we got to go through LAX and I love that Sky Club. How about you?
They were both really great long haul experiences, but there's something special about going to Australia. It's so far away.
I still call Australia home.
Last one. Shinkansen or Brightline?
I mean, Brightline. I like the service. Like Shinkansen didn't have a lot in the way of service, but I really like the service on Brightline. We have another train coming from the trip to Japan that will blow your mind.
You're saying you didn't like the bento box?
Well, it was different.
Also, Brightline is not true high-speed train.
That's true. We learned that in the comments.
Yeah, okay.
And now it's time for the awards segment of this year-end video, and there are 4 of them. And we both have a nomination. So the first award we're giving is the Wow, I Can't Believe I'm Getting to Do This award. Suzanne, what is it?
All right, ladies first. For me, it was when we went behind the scenes at Frankfurt Airport. We were standing down on the apron, and Jeb was in a pushback tug, pushing back an A330 headed for Washington Dulles. And I can't tell you how many times I've taken that flight. So it was just kind of surreal to see that experience from down on the apron, and Jeb was pushing back the plane. Like, incredible.
Yeah, that was pretty magical, without a doubt. My Wow, I Can't Believe I'm Getting to Do This award goes to getting to visit the South Pole. That has been a dream of mine for so long, and it was about this time, it was actually January the 2nd, 2023, that I got to visit the South Pole. It was an amazing experience. We tried really hard to get there and finally made it. It was a little too cold for Suzanne, which I was sorry about, but maybe we'll do it again. I don't know. So that's for me. Now, next award. What have I gotten myself into? The What Have I Gotten Myself Into award for Suzanne is
taking CRJs all the way across the country. Wow, we got to the middle of that, which was in Lincoln, Nebraska, and we still had 2 flights to go. And I was thinking, what in the world are we doing? It was a really fun day, though.
A little insight into that trip. So we're in Lincoln, Nebraska. We went into town and had lunch at a restaurant. And we had our suitcases with us. It was part of a longer trip, so we had some carry-on suitcases with us. The lady saw us and asked if we were traveling through. And we said, yes, ma'am. And she said, well, that's good for you. That's great. And I was thinking to myself, if only you had any idea why we're traveling through and what this is all about, it would blow your mind, because not many people intentionally choose to take CRJs across the country, but we did. And I thought it was a fun trip.
Yeah, ending up in Fresno, California, all the way across the country. What an experience.
All right, my What Have I Gotten Myself Into is a specific moment, and it was American Airlines hub hopping in Miami. And the reason it was What Have I Gotten Myself Into is it was the end of the day. It was a full day, and I had not yet left the East Coast because American Airlines has so many East Coast hubs. And I was like, what am I doing? Well, how is this happening? But I kept going. You'll have to watch the video if you haven't to find out if I made it. This is the I'm so over it award. At what point in the year were we like, I can't believe, I'm so over this? Suzanne, kick us off.
Okay, I gotta say first, most of the time we absolutely just have a great time traveling. We really love it. But there's certain moments where you're like, not a lot of them, but there are certain moments. So mine for this year was an Amtrak moment, actually. We were taking Amtrak, we were attempting to take Amtrak across the country. We started in Seattle, ended up in Chicago after the Empire Builder. That was 2 nights on Amtrak. Spent a night or 2 in Chicago in a hotel, thankfully, to kind of recover from that. And we're carrying on to Washington, D.C. via the Cardinal. Now, you don't know this from the video, but I had a sinus infection. I didn't sleep. It was pretty grim that night on the Cardinal. I was not feeling too hot. So to wake up in the morning in Huntington, West Virginia, to find out this train is terminating, we're not going any further, and we have to find some other way home, I had just had it. I was so over it. And then also knowing, Jeb's gonna wanna cross the country by Amtrak another time. So we were going to have to do this all over again another time.
We get to do this another time, all over again, hopefully successfully, and...
Might be coming this year, we'll see.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Okay, I really struggled with this, and confession, I had to ask off camera, for some help remembering a time I was so over it, because I could give you the I can't believe I get to do this award all day long, because it's basically every minute of my life. But the I'm so over it award I had to get some help for, because it's something that didn't happen. It's something we didn't get to do. When we were in Japan in November, we planned a number of things, some of which you've seen, some of which you haven't. There's still more to come. But we had booked an overnight sleeper bus, and I was really excited about this. A big part of the reason I wanted to go was to experience this bus. And we were literally in the hotel lobby arranging transportation to the bus stop when Suzanne got an email saying it was canceled. We ended up taking the Shinkansen, which was a cool experience. Wouldn't have done it otherwise. It wasn't in the itinerary, so that was pretty special.
Wait, so you were really disappointed about not sleeping on a bus?
Yeah.
That's what makes you busboy, as Dennis Bunnick would say.
Yeah, Dennis Bunnick, thanks for that nickname. Suzanne won't let me live it down. Busboy. All right. Now, the final award, the most excited to release video award. What video were you most excited to release?
We get excited every Saturday morning we have a video coming out. I gotta say, we put out things we're excited about and feel good about. But the one in particular this year that I was super excited about was Queen Mary 2. That was our first time dabbling into transportation by ship. And I really had no expectations for how that would do. And it turns out people really seem to enjoy that video. I had a fun time doing it, a fun time making that video. So I was excited to get out there and see kind of what the response was. And it was quite overwhelming. So thanks for watching that one.
Yeah, that was really cool. And it's a lot of fun when people come up to us and in real life when they see us and say they really enjoyed that video too. I've heard from so many of you who've stopped us in airports or all kinds of places.
It's my mom's favorite video too. So.
That's what really matters. My most excited to release video award goes to the Canadian train. And that's because that edit just kind of came together. And it really, every time I think about that video, I have certain edits that come to mind that are almost emotional kind of experiences. And I think that translated because the video did really well this year. So that was what I was most excited to release, which brings up our next segment, which let's do a countdown of the most viewed videos on our channel this year.
Coming in at number 5 with 1.3 million views since it was released is a 2023 update to the low-cost carrier comparison. Get ready for seats that squeeze, no space for your knees, and endless fees. Allegiant, Frontier, Spirit. Which is the best and worst ultra-low-cost airline in the United States? Let's find out as we try all three back to back. At number 4, with nearly 1.5 million views since it came out, it's Australia's world-famous train, the GAN.
Welcome on board the GAN.
This is Australia's most iconic rail journey. Over the next 3 days, we'll cross the remote and rugged outback with a healthy dose of luxury along the way. Coming in with more than 1.6 million views and earning the 3rd spot, it's Lufthansa's First Class. Welcome on board First Class on the most iconic plane in the world, the Boeing 747. We're about to spend 24 hours in Lufthansa First Class, and we're sitting in front of the pilots. Along the way, we'll eat, drink, sleep, and experience all the luxury Lufthansa has to offer. And best of all, you're coming along. And a distant second, with 4.6 million views, it's Singapore Suites. It's the best first class in the world. In fact, it's beyond first class. Welcome to Singapore Suites. We're about to spend 22 hours experiencing the ultimate luxury in the sky, and you're coming along. Finally, taking the #1 spot not only for the year, but also for all time, it's the Canadian with a mind-blowing 8 million views. Welcome on board this first-class train across Canada. The Canadian is one of the world's longest and most scenic rail journeys, and over the next 4 days and 4 nights, we'll journey across Canada eating, drinking, and sleeping on board the train, and we'll do it in the most luxurious way you can, prestige class.
It's always so exciting to see where any video lands, and even if one person watches it, it means the world to us. So to see the number of views the channel has gotten over this year has been, frankly, overwhelming. It's meant so much to us. And speaking of ways to connect to the channel, we've added a couple that we're really excited about. So one, for the first time ever, we are offering GreenerGrass Jet Setter merch. So if you want to wear a t-shirt like Suzanne's, you can head over to jeb.flight/merch to check that out.
I love wearing t-shirts. Any excuse to wear a t-shirt, I'm into it.
And we're working on merch like this at some point. It's coming. No, but it's been so much fun to get pictures back from people who've worn this stuff on their trips. That's been really fulfilling and a fun way to connect with you all for us. Another great way that we've added recently is join Cameo, and it's been so much fun. Holiday wishes and birthday wishes, and even a number of you have allowed me to say congratulations to you or a loved one about reaching airline status. That's been so much fun. So head to cameo.com/JebBrooks if you're interested in that. Now, back to our regularly scheduled program. Suzanne has developed a form of the Newlywed Game for us to play.
So we've been married 2 years now. I would say that's still newlywed status. So we're going to play a little game here to see how on the same page we are about some experiences we've had this year in the travel realm. The first category is Airline of the Year.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Did we get it the same? Oh!
I thought about choosing Singapore. It definitely occurred to me, but I had to give it to United for our cross-country CRJ experience. Also, if you remember, they won our economy Big Three airline showdown.
They did, and don't forget about that no jet lag transatlantic experience.
That's right. I have to say, I earned the highest status I've ever had on United this year. I'm pretty excited about it next year.
Well, you are a United fan, and well, Singapore was great for obvious reasons, but I gave it to it because of the first class, which was really our only experience. I think my vote would be moved over to United. All right, category number 2.
Travel destination of the year. So this is about when we got to a place, where did we have the best time, most interesting? Let's see what we said.
3, 2, 1. Are we the same? Oh!
Uh-oh. I definitely said Japan. It's such an interesting culture and just such an interesting place to be. The food, the experiences, it's like no other place on earth.
I loved our time in Japan. I want to go back as soon as possible, without a doubt, 100%. But I stand by my vote for Canada. You didn't convince me this time. I just loved everything about Canada. Everybody we met was so kind and warm. The scenery it's the best the world has to offer from all these different geographies. And it's right next door to us, so we're super lucky. Yeah, love Canada, love Japan, but I stand by my vote.
We spent a decent amount of time this year in Canada, and that came to mind when I thought of that, and it was really spectacular. So I can see where you came from there. Category number 3. Okay, the video we worked hardest on.
I'm sure we're on the same page here.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Yes!
Okay, here we go. We like to make some behind-the-scenes videos at airports, and it takes a lot of coordination behind the scenes to set things up, to get things scheduled. And this was, Frankfurt is a real major, legit, international mega hub, right? So to have the opportunity to go behind the scenes there was incredible, but we had to show up prepared, obviously. We had to have a very regimented plan for filming. And then once we had it filmed, to have the right facts, do the right research, get it reviewed. It was a beast.
What's interesting and kind of in the weeds about what we do is that most of our videos are linear, right? It's beginning, middle, and end, and it kind of follows a straight path. But if you look at videos like the Queen Mary 2, or even more so Frankfurt, which were filmed, by the way, at the same time. We did Frankfurt, and then we came back via Queen Mary 2. Those were 2 massive editing projects that required a lot of creative storytelling, which Suzanne really crafted. And so it was just a massive amount of work, Frankfurt, on the front end and the back end. And we are so grateful for the team over there who helped us make that. And we definitely hope to work with them in the future because, as Suzanne said, we love the behind-the-scenes stuff. And the reason for that is it's an opportunity to highlight career fields that are out there and show you all the professionals that are working so hard to make this industry run. So, category number 4.
The video we were most surprised by.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Oh. Okay.
Hey! Same boat. Why were you surprised by the Canadian?
I was kind of surprised about that. That has become our highest performing video in the history of the channel. It has something like 8 million views, which is incredible, and we can't even believe it. I was caught off guard with how successful it was.
Yeah, I was too. I still am. But then when I think back on it, I just remember everything came together. It was the right time of year. It was beautiful. The scenery was spectacular. The train was just everything was right about it. But yeah, I did not have expectations that it would do that.
Best flight of the year.
3, 2, 1. That's the G450 to St. Martin.
That was definitely in consideration for me, but I went with Singapore Suites all the way from Singapore through Frankfurt to JFK, New York.
I was torn between 3.
Yeah.
That one, the Gulfstream that we got to experience in the beginning of this year, and then the third one was Lufthansa first class. Those 3 were just epic next level experiences, not to mention that flight to the South Pole, which was amazing. But for me, ultimately, it was that one. That was fun, but it's time to talk about the stats in general. What did this year hold? So let's take a look.
In 2023, people watched our videos 47.7 million times. That translates into viewers spending the equivalent of 616 combined years watching this channel. The channel took me on 122 flights over more than 130,000 miles. All told, I spent almost 15 days in the air this year. We visited 61 airports in 16 countries on 94 different routes on board 27 different airlines.
Absolutely. What a year it's been. Now it's time to start thinking about 2024. So what's on the horizon?
We've started making some plans for 2024. We kind of keep things a little bit fluid too, so if cool things pop up like the Avelo inaugural flight from Wilmington, Delaware, we can just hop right on it. There's more to come from Japan. We still have a couple more videos we have not released yet. We plan a trip to Southeast Asia kind of early in the year, so that'll be really exciting. We might do some more world's longest flights, hint, hint.
Any guesses?
We're thinking about heading back to Alaska. There's some cool flying to do up there, like the Milk Run, maybe some more trains to get on. Maybe some more cruising. What do you think about that?
But I've got a question for you, actually. If you've watched this long, what do you not want to see from the channel? I mean, everybody's always asking, or I'm always asking, what do you want to see? What do you not want to see us do? It's time to say thank you again. We really appreciate all of the support you provide by watching these videos. There's some fun stuff to come for sure. A lot of it we don't know about, but a lot of it we can't wait to share with you. And as always, between now and the next time,
see you in the sky.